Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. There are so many ways you can get your news today. You can follow people on Twitter, like myself, or Facebook, really, like myself, or a Google+, like myself, YouTube, like myself. We're everywhere, really, and we're sharing news. And even if you're not making news, or you're just sharing your perspective, or maybe you're sharing what somebody else had written, there are plenty of ways to do this. You don't really need a new experience. When Flipboard was first announced, and this is quite a while back, it was for the iPad. And we've seen a few iPad stories out there. Let's go ahead, and I've got a lot of apps installed on my iPad, believe it or not, but Flipboard is, to me, the must-have installed news navigation application. If that sounds a little wordy, it's a lot more fun to use. So if I see here, tap Flip Tech, I can flip between the headlines real easily, and oh, look at that, page will go back and forth. And if I want to read something in depth, I just tap that article, it pulls up. One of my favorite news sites of all times, The Next Web. All my favorites are there. It pulls up the web page underneath it, or I can go back to the Flipboard interface. So this is free, by the way, if you have not tried it. You can load lockergnome.com in there. Oh, look, they're talking about the new Twitter experience, I bet there. 4 ways Twitter is taking on Facebook. So this is apparently the text section, and you can go ahead and define other sections. You can even subscribe to feeds. You could subscribe to Locker Gnome's feeds or my feeds all over the place, and add them essentially to Flipboard and synchronize it with a free account. If you have not started using Flipboard and you have an iPad, you should, really. First time watching this live, it's incredible. Can't wait for YouTube to broaden the audience for this technology. I don't know if you can really, I think you can pull in videos from Flipboard, at least vicariously. Look, I'm just navigating. It's addictive to kind of navigate people's status updates and news links and stories and photos, and I'm pretty sure videos as well. Now, if you didn't realize it, Flipboard is a universal application, which means it'll run natively on the iPad screen and an iPhone screen or an iPod Touch screen. So I have loaded Flipboard on here. Or did I say Flipbook before? Hopefully I didn't. Carriester says, Flipboard looks pretty good. We're streaming this video live on YouTube, hence the comments and me reading from it. Flipboard has a great UI, says Natalie Rain. Agreed. I use Google Reader solely for Flipboard, says Evil Dead 123. A lot of people use Flipboard if you hadn't known about this before. I mean, I can't believe I'm the first person to tell you this. Welcome to Flipboard. This is my first experience here on the iPhone. I wonder if I can remember my credentials. I don't know if I can. Oh, I see. I flipped it up. Get started, create your Flipboard. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Looks like that's the new nav screen here. I'm going to tilt it to the side since the brightness is not exactly optimized here. This white is whiter than me. This is a little odd. Let's go ahead and look at news. Oh, I see. We're choosing which ones we want to have on our Flipboard. They've got a few sections by default. And let's go ahead and just dive into technology again. And it looks like, let's see, I'm going to try to swipe. So on Flipboard on the iPhone, looks like you swipe up or down. Oh, hey, we talked about this the other day. Remember the video we did on your favorite classic video game or old school video game, whatever we titled it. So Tetris, I'm sure, is one of them in the articles. And then you could just scan the headlines using Flipboard. You can check out their sections. You can build your own sections. You can connect your Facebook account, your Twitter account. And the nice thing about this, again, is if you'd heard about Flipboard but didn't have an iPad, now you can use Flipboard on a smaller screen. And you can synchronize the account to run between your large screen iOS devices, iPad, or your smaller screen iOS devices like your iPhone or your iPod Touch. Can I sync my Google Reader feeds with Flipboard? I've never used Google Reader that much. I'll be honest with you. I love RSS. That was the way for a while that we were delivered new information, but then RSS didn't really die. It's just that we didn't really see a lot of innovation happening around that as a delivery mechanism. And email still works well. We still send out the Locker Gnome email newsletter. We still have an RSS feed. But it just seems to be kind of pointless these days. I would say, and I'm asking this question in general to you, for me, I get most of my news like this. Watching a video, or reading your tweets or your reshares on Facebook or Google Plus from social media. So you act as a filter. This is why it's important when I ask you, I say, hey, we did a Locker Gnome article about Flipboard. So I would ask you, hey, if you can share this with other people, that would be awesome. When you subscribe to us, you're letting us know that the content you're digesting is worth sharing. And so everything that we do, I hope, I pray that you are sharing that content forward. That's how other people are going to discover the news. You could come to lockergnome.com directly. That's not really the case anymore. You can subscribe to our email newsletter. Easy enough to do. But I would say the biggest velocity we might get is if you had a blog, you link back to an article you like. If you have Twitter, Facebook, Google+, any one of these social media profiles, when you share the stuff, that is a huge gesture. It means so much to us. When you comment, when you share. I mean, these videos you like, and you can share them. You like them, you share them. Everybody else can discover it. Chris, didn't you more or less discover RSS? Asks Steve K 1993. I didn't discover it. I got pretty excited about it though, and certainly told people its benefits. And RSS is still around. And think of Flipboard kind of like a next generation RSS reader. RSS, by the way, is short for really simple syndication, although that's been argued for a while. You don't really hear much about it these days. Unfortunately. I've just connected because I read your tweet and had to share my Facebook. Says Vincius Diva Concel. I'm not sure if I got the username right, but I'm doing my best when we're doing this stuff live. So if you haven't already, check out Flipboard. It's a universal app. One of my favorite news readers, well, formerly on just the iPad, now certainly universally between my iPad and my iPhone and my iPod Touch. If you know of another news app, feel free to share it. Someone mentioned Pulse in the comments. Pulse is another good one. I'm a huge fan of Flipboard though, especially now that since it's universal and it's free and it's easy and it's fun to navigate the news. When was the last time you said that? I try to make things fun by talking about the stories that we cover on lockergnome.com. If you want to know more, you can read the article, potentially on Flipboard.